Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk about one of the, and I mean this very sincerely, weirdest, most unbelievable cards you'll ever see. Except it's real. Now, you are almost certainly never going to have this card, let's be clear. It's not a particularly obtainable card. I've been rewatching Avatar over the past couple days, and they've got the material in that film, the fantastically named unobtainium. Can't imagine when they came up with that name. This is the Pokemon TCG card equivalent of the unobtainium in Avatar, but harder to get hold of. You see, what it is Ishihara and Pikachu GX. Yeah, Ishihara and Pikachu GX. How weird is that? Now, for those of you that don't know, Ishihara is the president of the Pokemon Company, and this is, incidentally, not the first time that we've ever seen a super weird Ishihara card actually going out into the wild. We've seen it, ladies and gentlemen. There was actually a little while ago an Ishihara GX. Now, if we follow the timeline through, tag teams came after GXs. Now, admittedly, we still did have GXs while tag teams were going on, but if you're going to go ahead and give a present to the president of the Pokemon Company, you're probably, I'm going to go ahead and just go out on a limb here and say you're probably going to give the tag team GX rather than another regular GX. So one would imagine this is later than the other one. And I say it's unobtainable, but the Ishihara, the previous one, did actually sell. Now, that was Ishihara GX 350 HP Dragon Pokemon man with Rotom and a Master Ball, and a PSA 10 version of this. It was graded, and it did sell back in August 2020 for $50,500, which I know is an obscene amount of money. Don't get me wrong, it's an absolutely ridiculous amount of money. However, these are not supposed to be sold. Now, if anybody's wondering about these weird cards, it's not that weird. Essentially, there are certain cards which are made for celebrations, things of that nature, that are given out to Pokemon Company employees as little presents. The one we're talking about today was a 61st birthday present. We'll get to that one. We'll get to that more in a moment. But essentially, these happen. The thing is, when they're given out, I don't know this for a fact, of course, but I'm willing to bet there is either an agreement or at least an understanding that they're not going to be sold. One would imagine. Plus, there is very much a culture in Japan of not reselling gifts. This is a kind of thing that is very unlikely to be resold. I know a bunch of the Ishihara GXs were given out to employees, or I say no, I have heard at least, but you're not going to see these being resold because most employees of Japanese companies, that would be an insult to the person who gave you the present. You wouldn't do this. And it is kind of interesting to note, the artist for Ishihara GX did actually put out a little bit of a statement just saying how they were asked to do a portrait of Pokemon's leader in Japan, and they drew this card, and then they were given a full-size poster and several regular-sized Pokemon card versions, one that was signed, and that is really kind of cool. So yeah, that's kind of fun. So what's this one all about? Well, it was given for the 61st birthday of Ishihara, and it may literally be just a one-off. Now, I've heard that this was actually shared on their social media. I can't find it. I've been having a look around, I haven't found it. I'm sorry if I'm just being dim, but the picture is found in a few places. I got this off the Twitter of the lovely _Team Magma earlier today. This has been posted on E4 before, the exact same picture. So this picture has been doing the rounds. The thing is, if we look at the cake, I just want to look at the cake for a moment, right? This cake is amazing. First of all, you've got the image of the card on the cake. That's quite nice. You've got a GX marker with the tag team designation on the cake, which is awesome. And then all around the side, you've got those 10 and 50 damage counters. The only exception, of course, being that at the bottom, we've got a GX tag team marker. and a 61 because, of course, it was a 61st birthday present. Now, if you play exclusively in North America, Europe, etc., you might not recognize the significance of damage counters, but if you play in Japan, you will. We generally tend to use dice to mark damage when we play the Pokemon trading card game. That's a thing. In Japan, they use damage counters. And damage counters are still sold in Japanese stores on the Pokemon Center, etc., in a way that they're just not over here. Damage counters, and they look exactly like the ones on the cake, except less edible. Do not eat the real ones. It will go very badly. They are just sold and used in Japan all the time. Seeing them around the cake is absolutely wonderful, and I do think this is just a brilliant, brilliant thing. It makes me so happy. I would love that cake. I would eat the cake, incidentally, but I would love that cake, and I would also love that card. Of course, I'm assuming pretty much everyone that clicked on this video would love that card, and I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, but unless any of you watching are Ishihara himself, I don't think you're probably ever going to own this card. Now, what is a little bit sad, unlike Ishihara GX, we don't have a nice clear image of the card. I wish we did, we don't. And that's really upsetting. We have, well, the image. And we can basically tell from that what we've got here is 300 HP, which incidentally, for a tag team Pokemon, not bad. Of course, we all remember that Pikachu and Zekrom, which was the actual Pikachu tag team, only had 250. So that's quite a lot lower. And in fact, if we're completely honest with ourselves here, we might realise that there's only been a couple of tag team Pokemon that have actually gotten up to 300 HP. It's not entirely unheard of, it's just extremely rare. There are exactly 2 of them. Anyone want to name them before I tell you? We are talking about Magikarp and Wailord, and you hate to think quite how high that could have been had it not been for the presence of Magikarp, because you know most of that HP came from Wailord. And then you've got the legendary bird trio, because you've got legendary birds, and there are 3 of them, so come on. That kind of makes sense. But it's literally just the 2 of them. They are the only 2 we saw. They're the only ones that actually ever came around. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's them or bust. So the HP is extremely high here. That's kind of cool. I'm fairly sure it's 3 energy, 200 damage, which isn't terrible. That's a decent amount of damage. And then 3 energy, is it 410? That seems like a lot. Is it 310? I really don't know. I can't quite see, unfortunately. And then with it being a tag team attack, or tag team GX attack, there is an extra effect there, which is unfortunately illegible. If anybody can find a better quality of this image, please let me know. If anybody can do anything with the image that is available, please let me know. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I rather suspect at this stage that unless somebody official shares a better image of this card, we might never know exactly what it does. And on the one hand, yeah, that's really sad. But on the other hand, we've actually seen the card. And there are parallel universes in which we have never seen the card. So this is kind of wonderful. And it's not the only one like this we've seen. Don't forget that as well as Ishihara, we also saw a Doug Ferguson card a little while ago. Another Pokemon employee who did get one of these cards. I want to say as a retirement present, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, a little while ago, we saw those trio of musicians who got their own Pokemon Vs. Post Malone V, Katy Perry V, and J Balvin V. And my understanding is, and I did cover this in a video a little while ago, my understanding is that they are unique one-off cards. Only one was made. And I know a bunch of Ishihara were given out, including to the artist who actually drew the card. I'm kind of thinking this one might be a one-off. Firstly, the fact that we've only seen that one image of it. No others have leaked out. The fact that it was a 61st birthday present. I'd like to be wrong, because I'd like these to be out there. I'd like to see a nice clear image of it. I'd love to know how much one of these would sell for. And I know it's a bit selfish of me, and I'm totally okay with it. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is going to go down as one of those just massive curiosities. A weird Pokemon card that isn't really supposed to exist and is very much just a present for an employee, but is super cool and awesome. And I don't mind this, to be honest with you. I don't mind having a few Pokemon cards out there that are basically unobtainable. And I know that for me, I just like talking about this stuff, making videos, etc. I know not everybody thinks the same way I do, but I kind of get a bit of a kick out of the fact that there are these super weird, super rare cards out there that are just in the ether and technically exist, but we'll probably never even see them in person. I don't know. That's what I think about all of this, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.